This is OnePlus's flagship phone. It comes under £499, and it comes with a lot of features packed in to this device that you see on various other phones today, like Samsung and iPhone 10 and so on. So you may have seen the reviews on this online on YouTube already, but I'm going to give you a quick run through of some of the cool features which you probably didn't know about that the OnePlus 5T can do. First off, I'm going to go through an option called reading mode. So this is something that resembles a Kindle. Now, if you're reading your phone articles or books or ebooks or anything like that in low lighting, possibly at night time, you can turn on reading mode to dim the screen into more of a sepia filter. By doing that, you need to go into settings. If you scroll down to display, from here, if you go into reading mode, you have the option to turn on reading mode, and you should see it change into a lighter, easier on the eyes condition for reading. So it's got that yellow tint, bit like a sepia filter, and it just makes it easier on the eyes when you're reading in darkness. The next point is gestures. So if you go into settings and then gestures, you'll see a lot of options here, which makes it a little bit easier to control your device. It has a 6-inch screen, so you'd probably want to be able to do various things a little bit easier if you're just using the phone with one hand. One thing I like to use on a lot of my phones is the swipe fingerprint for notifications. So if I turn that on, now what that is, on the back you can swipe down on the fingerprint sensor, and that should bring down the notification bar, like so. It's just easier when you're holding the phone with one hand, having to swipe down from the top. As well as that, if you wanted to take screenshots, you can go into the 3-finger screenshot option here and turn that on. Now if you swipe with 3 fingers, it will take a screenshot of whatever app you're using, and that's really convenient. And there's also various other controls that you can use to do various different gestures and control your device a little bit easier. The next feature I've seen here on the OnePlus 5T, which I haven't come across in various other phones, is the option to have parallel apps. Now what this means is you can have 2 different applications of the same app. For example, Facebook. If you have 2 accounts, maybe one is your personal account or one is your business account, but instead of having to log in and log out every single time on the same app, you can have 2 apps which are logged into both separate accounts. So if you go into settings, apps, and then parallel apps, at the moment it's set to social networks, which are the most common uses for having a parallel app. If I turn on Facebook here, and I'll go back to my app drawer, if I scroll down, you can see I have 2 Facebook applications now, one there and one there. If I turn it back off, and you'll be able to log in separately with that. If I go back, you can see there's only one app for Facebook now again. And that's really useful. You can do that for all the different social networks which you might have 2 accounts for. Another feature, if you go back into settings, this is called alert slider. Now if you go into alert slider option, now on the left hand side of the phone, you'll see that there's a sort of a switch. Now this switch here, you can generally find this on iPhones to put your phone on silent when someone is ringing. Well, the OnePlus 5T has 3 options. It comes with silent, ring, and do not disturb, and this slides down with 2 different clicks on its way up. Now there's a really good option here, is you can customize the alert slider and select different various options for each of the positions of the slider itself. So for example, ring, you have the option to vibrate for calls. If you go to do not disturb, this is the one that will have the most options. You can set it to manage favorite contacts, alert on various events, allow notification lights to be used, and so on. So it allows you to play around with the options for this, rather than keeping it at its standard defaults. But the do not disturb option has the most flexibility. You can also allow certain contacts to call and send messages by pressing call or messages and selecting your preferred contacts from the settings here. You can also toggle on event reminders like I mentioned. Another one is on the camera. Now the Google Pixel 2 is currently dominating the camera usage at the moment with the portrait mode. Now the OnePlus 5T also comes with that as well, and that has something called depth effect, and it allows you to take a picture of an object close by. So for example, if I take one off my laptop, you'll be able to see here that it's sort of blurred the background and focused itself on the laptop itself, and it's given sort of an SLR feeling to that picture. And that's really good if anyone was considering getting the Pixel 2 as opposed to the OnePlus 5T. Then that would obviously sway their opinion as well, based on like prices and so on. The final thing I wanted to show you is how to take screenshots. Now sometimes you need to take a screenshot of a little bit more than what you can see on your screen. So if I take an example of this web page, and I want to take a little bit screenshot, a little bit more of just what I see there, for example more details or descriptions and that kind of stuff, then this is how you do it. Okay, so there's two ways to take screenshots. Using gestures, which I've turned on in the settings, I can swipe with 3 fingers to the right, or I can hold down the volume down and the power buttons at the same time. And if I wanted to take a screenshot of more than just the top of the page or something that you see just in the viewfinder, you'll see an option to do that. So if I take the screenshot, there's an option there at the bottom, the second to last icon of a square. It will start scrolling the page itself until you tap, and once you've done that, it will stop and it will give you a screenshot of the entire page until you've told it to stop. And that's really useful if you wanted to send information to anyone of more than just the part of the screen that you see. So guys, those are the main features that I think stand out on the OnePlus 5T. Hopefully you found that useful. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything else that you think is a really standout feature on this phone, or if there's anything else you'd like other people to know. Otherwise, please do like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next one.